let's jump in. Let's talk a little bit about how we can grow our business. So I want to keep this short, concise, straight to the point on how you can go from a new IBO looking to grow your business coming out of the conference and how you can turn your business into a team of 5 people by the end of the summer so that we can get the ball rolling and keep breaking new pins. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm just going to jump right into it. And I'm going to expect a little bit of interaction. So I might not bring you up on the screen, but definitely I'm going to be monitoring the chat and we can kind of go from there. So let me share the screen first and let me know if I'm able to. Yes, here we go. Share my sound. If you guys can just give me a thumbs up if you're able to see this on your screen. Okay, perfect, perfect. So I want to title this talk, Why Network Marketing? So again, I'm going to start off with a little bit of crowd interaction. So if you guys could just put in the chat, why do you guys believe network marketing is an opportunity, is one of the best opportunities for the average person getting started in entrepreneurship? What are some of your thoughts, whether you're new in business, existing? I want to kind of get a feel for what you guys are kind of thinking. So I see freedom, community, flexibility, low cost, low investment. Anyone can join your network, absolutely. Low barrier of entry, lifestyle. You determine your growth. So a lot of these great things, great products, solutions, coaching, helping others, and many, many, many more. As I see you guys putting in people helping people. So that's the beauty. So I want to kind of share with you, especially if you're new in business or especially if you're kind of just starting your journey, why is network marketing potentially a good opportunity for you? And how can you leverage your time in order to make it work for you? So for me, I mean, you guys listed out all of them, the opportunity to grow, unlimited potential. One of the benefits of not just network marketing, but specifically Amway is the product diversity, like we talked about, the ability to scale your business all around the globe. I do want to be clear again, the industry of network marketing is very large. So not every company operates the same as Amway. As you see on the slides, Amway is the #1 company. So if you ever hear negativity or uncertainty about the industry, sometimes people had experiences outside of Amway. So again, just something to know. But all of the things that you guys mentioned are great. But I want to touch on one of the topics that just makes a lot of sense to me, which is the topic of time compounding. And I want to talk to you about how can you use your time now so that you can become like the emeralds and diamonds that you see on the call, where they have businesses that are surrounding the globe and working for them even when they're not working. Because a lot of people, when they start their business or when they join the business, their #1 goal, the #1, and I'll ask you guys to put in the chat. For those of you guys that are taking people through the process, what's the #1 thing that people say as to why they want to start their business? Multiple people on the webinar just said it, even before, even on the BP, but money and time, freedom, financial freedom, that's what everybody wants. But the key thing is that in order to have freedom, you need to not only have time, but you need to have money too. So time and money. So when it comes to this business, Kumar talks about it all the time, but time compounding is the ability to duplicate your efforts through a team of IBOs. So if you started in business, some people get in business just to sell products. Some people get in business just to build a small business. But if you see the bigger picture as to why network marketing is the best opportunity for, the average everyday individual to go from an E-quadrant employee to a big business owner is the ability to compound your time. Because most people in the world today are busy. They have a lot going on in their lives. So they need a business that they can scale. Most businesses out there, like for example, if you think of a traditional business, and I'll just stop sharing for a minute and bring it when I need to. Most people, when you think of a traditional business, like maybe cutting hair, doing Uber, a bunch of other things, is you need to invest more of your time in order to create more income. So when you look at it, it's in the S quadrant. You're building your business as a small business or a self-employed individual. And what happens is you need to continue to input your time. So even though you're your own boss, like as an Uber driver or doing Uber Eats or DoorDash, you can work more hours to make more money. But what happens if you have no ability to compound your time? Or if you're selling products online or doing things like that, if you don't have an ability to duplicate yourself, there's no way for you to scale without your own effort. And that's what this opportunity has the ability to do for you. And if I share my screen real quick again, is I want to kind of drive this point home from the fact of, again, if you're new, why is it important, or why do we recommend that you build a team? Because when you look at it as an individual IBO, let's say you're new in business, you just got started, or you've been in business for a little while and it's just you. If you only have as one person in your business and you have about 10 hours, 5 to 10 to 15 hours a week to put into your business, well, guess what? Your business can only run for 10 hours a week or however many hours you yourself can put in. But what you want to ask yourself is, how can I expand my time? Because a lot of people, if you ask how many hours are in a day, everybody's going to say 24 hours. But the answer to that question is, it depends on whose day. Because when you think about Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Kunkin and Samina, Vishal and Sonika, people on this call, the amount of hours in their day is significantly more than 24 hours because they have a business that they can leverage other people's time. If you have 1,000 people on your team and they all put in 1 to 2 hours a day in their business, you now have 1,000 to 2,000 hours in your day that you can make money with. As opposed to, as an employee, you can only put in the hours that you can do. So let's say you build a team of 5 people, which we're going to talk about. How can you go from just you to a team of 5 by summer conference? When you have a team of 5, you now have 50 hours a week going into your business if everyone's averaging about 10 hours a week. So think about that. You're working probably about 40 hours a week in your job if you're working a normal full-time job, but you can now compound your time and say, hey, I might only be able to put in a little bit of extra time, but I can duplicate myself through other people. And even if you go on vacation or you take time off, your business can still grow because you have other individuals that you're working with that can grow with you. So I want to really drive this point home. Again, Kumar always talks about it's multi-level marketing. The idea is to build multiple levels to build a team. This is why, because if you can compound your time, you can compound your income. Because the whole essence of this business, freedom, time, money, freedom, or financial freedom, is that you have money that can work for you because you have a team that's working when you're asleep. So I want to talk about this quote before I go into a short little video from Kumar. Is from the man himself, Warren Buffett. He talks about, I talked about it a little bit in the plan, is if you don't learn how to make money when you sleep, you're going to work until the day that you die. That's one of the benefits. Again, you guys all talked about some of the other benefits of this business, low barrier of entry, doing it in your spare time, the ability to scale your income. This is the thing. I mean, you can start businesses in many other industries. You can start a hair care, hair product line. You can start, again, cutting hair. You can, do Uber and all these other side hustles. But the question you have to ask yourself is, am I moving to the right side of the quadrants, or is what I'm doing just staying in the S quadrant? Am I ever building am I ever have the opportunity to make money when I sleep? And that's where, if your goal is freedom or financial flexibility or having time and money, you need to learn how to make money when you sleep. So Kumar has a fantastic video. I'm sure many of you who are veterans on the call, you've probably seen it because it's in our share talks or our share video feature, but he talks exactly about this time. Because one thing I want to touch on before I show Kumar's video is, a lot of people say when they start this business, or maybe after they get a couple of weeks into the business and they start working in it, is they start to come up with excuses. So again, I'll have some of you guys who are maybe working with people and stuff. What are the top excuses that you typically hear from people when they either start the business or they're about to start? If you could just put it in the chat. I'll list a few that I get all of the time. One is I'm a wimp. I don't think many people don't admit that, even though that might be the case. But one is, I don't have time. That's a big one. I don't have money. I have so much going on. I would do this business if only I, got some support from my friends or family. If I had, my grades were in order, I would build this business. Oh, my parents told me I couldn't do it. My life is crazy right now. All these other things. So what I've noticed over the years of building the business is all the excuses come down to about 2 things. One is, they don't believe that this business can work for them, or they don't have the time to work this business. And when somebody gives you that excuse, obviously you yourself, if somebody gives you that excuse, I can't make them think something differently. But if you ever come across that excuse yourself, where you don't understand, or where you're just kind of confused as to, why am I building the business? Is this going to work for me? Do I have time? My life just got super busy. I just had a daughter, am I still going to have time to put towards my business? I would encourage you to I'm going to play this video from Kumar where he talks about, what does it mean to compound your time, and how can this business help you? If you have a certain problem in your life, how can you find people in your team who don't have that same problem to grow your business with? So I want to play this video real quick because Kumar touches on it really, really well. Nobody can say it just like Kumar says it. So let me play this real quick. Let me know if you guys hear.
When somebody says, how hard do I have to work in the business? I know they're thinking like an employee or the traditional business, because their entire income depends on the number of hours they put in. Remember, I could be an emergency room physician, or I could be a PhD student with no time right now to build a business, except maybe 3 or 4 hours a week. But what I do is, I make sure I don't register all the emergency room physicians in the hospitals, because then everybody will have the same problem I have. So that is the whole point of leveraging, is what? You register people who don't have the challenge you have. If I've got 4 hours a week, I start looking for people that have 15 hours a week. Okay? If I am single, I mix it up. I get some couples in the business. If I am too old, I get enough young people in the business. If I'm too young, I get a mixture of middle-aged, young, and so so long as you remember what your challenge is only a portion of your business, only a fraction of your business. In the beginning, yeah, but once your team develops, your challenge gets masked by the other people's advantages that they have that you don't have in terms of time commitment and so on and so forth. So you got to think about the big picture. You might have a limitation, but you're looking for people that the majority of your group, you can be anything you want. You can be 95 years old. You can have, you can be extremely busy. Maybe you're a gynecologist. Your spouse is a cardiac surgeon. You have no time. All that is fine. But your majority of your group, the way it'll end up is 9 to 5. Okay, mid-20s to mid-30s. Okay, singles, couples, mixed. That's where it's going to end up. So even though you have a time challenge, if you're leveraging through other people, your challenge gets camouflaged. It becomes insignificant at a point if you're willing to do the work. Okay, initially you don't have a team, so you have to be disciplined to put in that time.
Fantastic. So I think Kumar said it best, but I want you guys to put in the chat, what was your takeaway from that video? What did you get from that? Because everyone's going to get something a little different, but some of the things that I wrote down after I watched that video is, if you have a challenge, find people who don't have the same challenge as you. So if you're new in business, you're excited, you're fired up, you're ready to build your business, over the next couple of months, you might not be as excited as you are the day that you get launched in business. So what you want to always remember is, whenever you start to get those excuses and negativity that starts talking to you, remember this video. Oh, I'm too busy. Oh, I'm only a student. I don't have enough money. I don't have a lot of time. Remember this video. All you need to do is to find people who don't have the same challenge as you. Again, the beauty of network marketing is that that challenge doesn't have to stop you. If you're an Uber driver, DoorDash, any of these other businesses out there, you have to be the driver until the business takes off, to a multi-million-dollar business. But as a network marketer, you can duplicate yourself even at a small level, even just a team of 5 people. You can have such a wide range. A perfect example I can give you is in my team personally. I just had a young daughter. So again, there's certain things that I can't do that I used to do when I was single, or, it was just Janae and I. But the people on my team, they don't have children. They're young, some are in relationships, some are single, but they have significantly more time. So guess what? My time can be compounded through the people in my team. Think of people like Ryan and Nitty, or Joel and Angie, or, all the platinums and emeralds and diamonds. Guess what? They're in different stages of life. But guess what? Just like Kumar said, if you look at the call, the vast majority of us are in that 20s to 30s, young professionals, and that's what you're looking for. So it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, what challenge you have, if you can start identifying and finding people who fit that framework, your business can grow. Even if you are having a certain challenge, that doesn't mean your business has to stop. So again, we're going to talk about a couple of ways that you can grow your business, but just remember that your challenge doesn't have to stop you from building your business. Yeah. And that's kind of what I wanted to touch on. So what I want to wrap up the last couple of slides with, and I want to play another quick little video before I talk about kind of what us as new IBOs or people that are starting today, what you need to do for your first 90 days is you need to set a game plan. But before I do that, I want to kind of frame it from the perspective of the early days of your business matter a lot. Just like Kumar talked about time compounding, the beauty of this business is that it's very forgiving. You can do nothing for months, you can do nothing for years, and you can start back like it's day one every single day. But what I would encourage you to do, especially if you're newer in business and you really want to get your business started off right, is make good decisions early on in your business, because when you start to compound good decisions from the beginning, it'll make the journey a lot more doable long term. An example that I can give is of myself. When I got started in business as a single, before I met Janae, I had a lot going on. I had debt, I was busy with like football and work and all this stuff going on. But what I did is I leaned into my coaches and mentors. One thing I can say personally was I had a lot of financial challenges because I wasn't working full time when I got started in business. So being able to use the products and do other things was a little bit challenging. But what I did with my coaches and my mentors is I worked with them in my first couple of months of business to set up a budget for myself so that I could not only buy my own products to get customers, but I could start to save a little bit of money and put it towards my future. And by doing that, it set me up to where now, after years of having a budget and doing things the right way, building our business, we have significantly more choices than if I hadn't built my business in the first place. So if you take advantage of the mentorship when you're younger, you're going to benefit from it in other ways, not only just growing your business, but by having, a multitude of other things happening. So I want to play this video that Vishal showed me when I was brand new in business. It's the penny doubling every day. And it shows the power of if you just stack little habits over a period of time, it can lead to massive endings. So it's a quick little like 2 to 3 minute, probably actually 1 minute video. So let me play this and then we can talk about what are our goals going into summer and how can we grow our business. So I think the audio is on. Let me know when the video starts if you guys can hear. I should make sure.
All right, time for Chart Attack. This is a fun one. We got a little lesson in math and compounded interest. All right, Professor, run us through this.
Well, this is the issue of the value of compound return, and something that I often do with folks is ask them which they'd rather have, the sum of a penny doubled every day for a month or $1 million, and we just play that game, and most of us aren't comfortable figuring out that if you take a penny and double it every day for 30 days, for 30 periods, it comes to 10,000,007.
That is, all right, bring in, I know it sounds absurd. We got to bring in the camera and show you this thing. I didn't believe it myself. Look at this. You start with 1 penny on day 1. You double it. Day 2, you got 2 pennies.
1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64.
And look at that. You finally get down to the bottom. I mean, it just keeps doubling, right? I mean, it's mind-boggling. Finally, there it is, 10,700,030. I mean, that is mind-boggling.
It's mind-boggling. So the arithmetic is simply, the rate of return is 100% and it's 30 periods.
Yeah, it's real simple.
It's
and
real
that's
simple. And
so perfect. So I want to hold
and
on.
that's
and
the
so
magic of.
See if I can. Perfect. So I want to hold it on this screen here and emphasize the importance of being consistent and starting off good in the beginning. Because when you look at it, the penny doubling, think of it as your business and your habits. If you, stay consistent and do a little bit after 7 days, or let's say this is a month, let's say this is month 1 through month 31, and this is your journey to platinum emerald or whatever your goals are, the first few months, you might look back and say, hey, I've been consistent. I've been reading books. I've been attending these meetings. I've been talking to people. I've launched some, not launched some. People came in, they quit. And after, let's say, a few months, you look at it and it's the equivalent of 64 cents. It's like, I've done all this work. I've been so consistent for this period of time, but what do I have to show for it? You don't realize that your breakthrough is just on the other side of you being consistent. When you look at it, your habits and your success are just like this. If you ask any of the leaders in business, any of the platinums, emeralds, or diamonds, I'm sure this is how their business looked. Their first few weeks, their first few months, potentially even their first few years of business, they were doing habits, but they might not have been getting the results that they wanted to get. But what did they decide to do? Did they decide to, after month X, quit and say, you know what? I've given this business a little bit of time. I'm just going to move on and do something different. No, they said, my goals and my dreams are bigger than, what I have right now. If I just stay consistent and just keep the faith and I keep doubling down, doubling down, doubling down, what's going to happen is this is a metaphor for you achieving the goals that you want. You're going to start to see some of the results that you're looking for. You see in the plan, we talk about $500 a month, $1,000 a month, $3,000 a month. Those aren't just pie in the sky numbers. Those are things that if you build your business right, you're going to start receiving those types of incomes month after month after month. But it requires your consistent habits over a period of time in order to get that. So I hope that made sense, kind of that metaphor kind of clicked for you, that if you can just stay consistent, theoretically, you can have those goals that you want, but it requires you to stay consistent now. So what do you need to do as we wrap up this training? What is it that you need to do over your next 90 days? So I don't care if you are new in business like Saniel or, Shoy, who's a new SSI, or you've been in business for 6 months, a year, 2 years, whatever. Make a decision. If you're not where you want to be in business, make a decision that today is day one. I think Charlie Driscoll talks about it all the time. Today is day one. Just draw a line in the sand. I'm just going to move forward from here. It doesn't matter what's happened in the past, where your business is, where it's not. Make a decision that today is day one and follow the game plan that we talk about in the SYR. Structure your, I don't know the what the terminology is, but SYR basically is set a 90-day game plan, and this is what you should be doing. And look at these things. Again, if you're new in business, make sure that you're checking off all these boxes. If you're a little bit more of a veteran, you might be doing all of these things, but just check in, see how you can start moving forward. If you're as a new IBO, or if today is your day one and you're like, hey, I want to start moving forward, these are the things that you want to do starting in June. So June just got started. So let's not wait to say, hey, I'm going to do this at the end of the summer once I go to the beach and have fun. Make a decision that, hey, today I'm going to start doing these things. I'm going to make sure that if I haven't bought my products or got my Ditto set up, I'm going to have by the end of this week 100 PV. I would recommend 150 PV in my virtual office. Just the non-negotiable. As a business owner, there's so many, I mean, with Amway, all their promotions and stuff, so many of their promotions are only unlocked if you're doing 150 PV personally. You know, like you're growing your downline, your differential bonuses. So get to 100, 150 PV right away. Just like Shoy, he's been doing it for a few months and he's starting to earn SSI. Don't miss out on those bonuses if you're new in business, because that's an extra $1,000 in your pocket if you stay consistent. You know, web tour, all of that, set up your Ditto, start doing some VCS. Maybe you're, you know, newer or newish in business and you don't have consistent sales happening every single day, every single month in your business. Sit down with your coach and you just got to be real with yourself. At some point, you have to mature and you have to say, hey, I'm not doing what I know I should be doing. Let me huddle with my coach and say, hey, I want to move my business forward. How can I get a consistent customer volume every single month? I promise you there's a solution to your problem, but you have to be willing to get the answer. So many people get into business and say, hey, I'm willing to take advantage of the mentorship. I want to, you know, get access to Ryan and Nitty, Kunkin and Samina, Vishal and Sonic, all these emeralds and platinums. But then when it comes time to actually taking advantage of the mentorship, what happens is they say, you know what, I've tried it, I've done a little bit, and you know, I'm not going to move forward, you know, or, you know, this is just too hard. You know, maybe this isn't the right fit for me. So what I would encourage you to do is list out those 9 core steps. I don't have them on the slide here today, but talk to your coach. What part of the 9 core steps do you feel like you need to work on? Where are you not the best at? And set up a game plan with your coach. The beauty of this business, again, in network marketing, you don't have to be perfect at everything. But as long as you're willing to get good and start learning, everything in our business is it's a skill, it's not a talent. You can develop it. Skills you can develop, talents you're born with. Everything in this business is a skill. You can learn it over a period of time if you're willing to learn it. So learn how to develop customers, use Amway education, build your list and start going through it. But I would say from this month forward, if you aren't consistently doing 100 to 150 PV personally outside of your downline, start to do that or sit down with your coach and say, hey, I don't care what's happened in the past, but how can I do that moving forward? And keep that consistent. Then next month, in the month of July, before most of the BBSs I think are happening in that month, set a goal of how can I have a team of 2 at the BBS. I know for the DMV area, we have our BBS, I think on July 12th. I think New Jersey is the exact same date up in New Jersey. Wherever else you are in the Midwest or West Coast, you know, just find out what day it is. But set a goal and say, hey, how can I okay, I'm doing my 150 PV. How can I start to get a team of 2 at the next event? Because again, time compounding. If you can bring people to events and seminars and webinars like this, they get educated in their business, they get excited and they start to grow their business. That's why we have this community of entrepreneurs. Because if you disconnect from the community, it's like taking a coal away from the fire. Eventually it's going to sizzle out and, you know, burn out. It's not going to be hot anymore. But if you stay near the fire, you're going to develop a large team. So you want to start to bring some of your team into the fire, bring them into the environment and get them to the associations, maybe do a home plan, maybe do a Zoom webinar, a grand opening, whatever it is, do something to start to attract people into your business and work with your coach. Your coach might have certain steps that they walk you through. Just follow your coach, but set a goal. By next month, I want to have a team of 2. I got my PV down this month. Next month, I want to do some work to be able to have 2 people at the event. Then the next month, you should be tracking about BFI, Bronze Foundation. If you have 2 people, you plus 2 people at the event, that means you have about 2 legs there, unless they're downline from each other. So what you can do is then BFI is just to have 3 legs that are doing 100 PV. If you keep up the same habits this month, next month, and the month after, you should have 3 new legs launched. And if they're following the process with the coach, they should be able to get their product stack and then be able to do 100 PV. And if you do that, you're going to be a brand new BFI getting recognized on the webinar or at your in-person event with 3 legs that reached 100 PV, 600 PV total. And then by month 3, which is when summer conference is coming around in Baltimore in August, you're going to have a team of 5. If you have a team of 3 legs and you help those legs launch other people, you'll easily have 5 people at the conference, and you'll be able to qualify for the Kumar qualifiers wherever it is. I don't know if we're going to be at a park or, in New York City or somewhere else. But that's the game plan that you want to have. SSI, 1,000 PV, your income, you're going to start to see it's going to go from maybe $100 to 150 to 200. And when you reach BFI level, SSI, 1,000 PV, you should be making about $300 to $500 per month in your business. So again, you want to start to compound your time. You want to use the downline that you develop and teach them how to do the right thing, so that way your time can now be duplicated. That's the only way you're ever going to reach your goals of financial flexibility, reaching these higher levels, is if you can duplicate yourself through other people. So that's really all I wanted to share with you guys here today. Just give you some practical steps on why is network marketing a great way for you to be able to build a business, and how can you use network marketing to create the goals that you want. And the answer to that is time compounding. Launch people into your team, teach them how to duplicate you, and you'll be able to reap all the rewards that a lot of the platinums, emeralds, and diamonds are all reaping, of choices, going to Diamond Club, achievers. I know that's the next goal that Janae and I have coming up next year. We're going to be qualifying at 7,500 PV starting in September, and we're going to be at achievers with all of our upline, and we just appreciate you guys. So thank you so much. I hope I added a little bit of value. So I'm going to kick it back over to Justin to wrap up.